Iron Maiden's lost singer, Dave Mustaine vs Metallica again, and the legendary Ozzfest is set to return next year. Metal is life and well, so let's see what keeps it going today. Here you go. Iron Maiden's lost singer. So Iron Maiden fans, now it's finally official. The first official documentary about the legendary Paul Di'Anno, titled Di'Anno, Iron Maiden's lost singer, is finally set for release this summer. And yeah, it is a rather hard one, but a very important story for all the Iron Maiden fans.
It sounded like he meant it.
Directed by Wes Orchowski, who worked previously on Lemmy and The Damned, the film has been in the making since 2017 and follows the long, complicated journey of Paul Di'Anno, from being the original voice of Iron Maiden to years of health struggles, financial hardships, isolation, and even eventual late career resurgence, driven almost entirely by fan support. And according to Wes, this is not going to be a nostalgia piece. Quite the opposite. The documentary shows Di'Anno's real life after fame, severe mobility issues, hospital stays, and the grassroots efforts by fans that helped him get treatment in Croatia and return to the stage when it looked nearly impossible. And in addition to that, the film will of course feature commentary from some of the, somewhat known people in the world of metal, including James Hetfield, Gene Simmons, Steve Harris, as well as members of Slayer, Megadeth, Exodus, Sepultura, and Overkill. All of them talking about the enormous impact Di'Anno's singing and stage presence had on them when they were just starting out their journey. So yeah, after screenings at European festivals, Di'Anno, Iron Maiden's lost singer, will receive a wider release this summer via Cleopatra Entertainment on streaming platforms and physical formats. And given the whole fact that I'm in contact with Wes, I promise you guys that you will know everything there is to know about it very soon. And in addition to that, on behalf of all the metal pilgrims around the world and all the Iron Maiden fans around the world, I just want to thank both Wes and Stepan Juris for keeping the legendary vocalist's memory alive. Here guys, super quick, just simply have to point out that only around 30% of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed to this channel, so if you're not one of those, and especially if this is not the first video you're watching here, I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing right now. Let's continue building this amazing heavy metal community together. New Saxon album this year. New wave of British heavy metal legends Saxon have finished the work on their 25th studio album, which according to Biff Byford will actually be released this year.
Keep the faith and see you all in summer.
As Saxon's frontman explained, producer Andy Sneap has already finished mixing this new record, and the fans will most likely be able to hear the first single off of it this summer already. And just a reminder for you guys, this album, yet unnamed, will be the successor of Hellfire and Damnation, which this band, despite being nearly 50 years old already, released just 2 years ago. But the most important and pleasant news that Biff shared with his fans is that 6 months after his bowel cancer surgery, he made a CT scan that showed that nothing came back and everything is clear, meaning that he and the boys can now tour non-stop around the world, just like the way they do for nearly 50 years already, and for which all of us heavy metal fans around the world are eternally grateful for the true denim and leather warriors of heavy metal.
She used to be an iron horse 20 years ago.
And here guys, just wanted to thank all of my patrons and all of the YouTube channel members. Guys, it is thanks to you and thanks to everyone who purchases Metal Pilgrim merch that I'm able to release these videos for you amidst all the madness that is going on right here in Ukraine. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, and as a thank you, there is actually a special video available to all of you on those platforms right now, so definitely do not miss it. And if you guys want to join that incredible community, just know that all the links to do so will be in the description to this video. Nervosa's Slave Machine. Everyone's favorite metal divas Nervosa have finally announced their brand new studio album, and so their 6th studio record, titled Slave Machine, is set to arrive on April 3rd, 2026 via Napalm Records, and in a good old-fashioned manner, they've already shared the title track to it. And you know what? It's basically exactly what you may expect from Nervosa today. Aggressive and absolutely uncompromising. The album was once again produced by Martin Furia from Destruction, features 12 new tracks, and continues the band evolution with Prika Amaral fully established as a frontwoman, a setup which it looks like is here to stay from now on. And by the way, talking about this album, Nervosa have already shared that it will be their most aggressive, yet most melodic record to date. And you know what? I am all for it. New Poison vocalist. The classic lineup of the hair metal legends Poison may actually never reunite. Or it definitely will reunite next year, depending on whom you ask about it.
Good morning, Glenn.
In a recent interview on the Johnny Rock Show, the Poison drummer Ricky Rocket said that the only reason that the highly anticipated tour in support of the 40th anniversary of Poison's debut album not going through as planned is actually the financial demands of the band's frontman Bret Michaels, which apparently were too high. As according to Ricky, Bret actually wanted $6 for every dollar the band makes on that tour.
Oh, I like money.
And here's the craziest thing. According to Ricky, the band actually did not really completely rule out an idea of going out on that tour with a new vocalist. Although he did of course put a remark that it would definitely be not something that he wants to do. And although he did put that remark, that of course did not stop all of the Poison fans from being completely outraged about even a possibility of such a tour online. And even Bret Michaels had to comment on that comment, shutting down all the rumors about the payment dispute, and saying that he never said anything about him wanting 6 times more than his bandmates, whom Bret, by the way, still calls his friends. And the only thing he actually wanted was a fair distribution of income from that tour. And even more, according to Bret Michaels, the band has actually already discussed the tour itself, who will open for them on that tour, lights, sound, stage, and pretty much everything else. And he's actually pretty sure that the band will go on that tour next year, hoping to call it the 40+1 tour. So yeah, it looks like the Poison reunion is still happening. Or not! We'll find out next year. Terrible Black Sabbath. Legendary Black Sabbath bassist Geezer Butler said out loud something that, if it would have been said by anybody else, would have been considered absolute heresy. As this week Geezer Butler shared his rather candid opinion about one of the most influential heavy metal albums of all times, the legendary Paranoid, calling the Paranoid cover artwork the absolute worst album artwork ever.
Say what?
All the way back in 2020, Tony Iommi explained that this cover was actually created for another album title, Warpix, that was of course banned by the label. And the Paranoid song actually has nothing to do with that particular cover that we all know this album for. And even more, apparently when Black Sabbath were just working on Paranoid, they already considered that album artwork to be abso-freaking-lutely terrible. And they still have absolutely no idea how the flip anyone decided to purchase that album.
What do you think?
I like turtles.
All right, you're great zombie.
Oh, and by the way, guys, I actually released a special video on the full history of Paranoid, including the history of this album artwork on this channel, so if you still haven't watched it, definitely check it out right after watching this video. But yeah, the bottom line here is that, well, if it would have been said by pretty much anybody else, all metalheads around the world would have come out with their pitchforks against that person. But given this is actually coming from Geezer Butler and Tony Iommi, well, truth be told, I actually kinda do agree with both of them, despite it actually being my absolute favorite Black Sabbath record. Skid Row without Skid Row. Skid Row bassist Rachel Bolan announced his debut solo album. And so this record, titled Gargoyle of the Garden State, is due for release on June 12th via Ear Music, and will actually feature all three of the other Skid Row members, Scotty Hill, Dave Sabo, and Rob Hammersmith, as well as a bunch of other special guests, including Nuno Bettencourt of Extreme, Steve Conte of New York Dolls, and Damon Johnson of Lynyrd Skynyrd, among many others. So yeah, not too shabby for a debut solo album. As Bolan explained, Gargoyle of the Garden State will not sound as a Skid Row album whatsoever, and he himself will actually do most of the vocal parts, and also revealed that it will actually feature a very special cover on a song he once heard in the radio and had no idea which band was actually behind it. After which he decided to not reveal the title of that song or even the name of the band behind it. But apparently we will find out more about this album very soon, and more specifically in a couple of months when the first single from it will be out. The end of the Motley Crue Mick Mars drama. Long-time legal dispute between the legendary Motley Crue and their longtime guitarist Mick Mars has finally come to an end. According to the band attorney's press release, the final arbitration rejected every claim Mars made, and even ordered him to pay Motley Crue for the damage he caused.
No drugs anymore?
Nope.
This decision puts an end to the legal dispute started back in October of 2022, when Mick Mars announced retirement from touring while still being a member of the band. And just 6 months after that, filed a lawsuit alleging that other members tried to remove him as a significant stakeholder in Motley Crue's corporate and business structure, as well as, of course, publicly accused the band of not actually playing live and using pre-recorded bass, drums, and vocals at their live shows. Which, according to this lawsuit, was apparently 100% false. And even Mick Mars himself was forced to admit that he apparently made this whole thing up.
You're not really. No.
After the court made its final decision, Nicky Sixx went public on his social media profiles with a short statement simply saying, "Finally, the truth." As yeah, well, apparently, absolutely all of Mick Mars's claims have been rejected. And it doesn't even look like Mick Mars is going to try to fight that decision. But if we're being very honest, this whole situation abso-freaking-lutely sucks. As for many Motley Crue fans, Mick Mars is the guitarist of this band. And seeing the two camps fight like that might be a torture for all of the real diehard fans of this band. And now the time has come for your favorite part of the video, so let's take a look at 5 metal releases from this week, which, although did not get their own segments in this video, are still definitely worthy of your attention. American metalcore stalwarts Atreyu dropped their new single Ego Death. The track arrives with an official music video and explores the concept of shedding old selves to become who you're meant to be, built on powerful riffs and compelling melodic hook that balances heaviness and emotional resonance. The release follows the band's previous single Dead and comes as Atreyu continues to roll out new material alongside announced tour dates supporting Sevendust this spring.
I'm not so good at first impression. I just forget your name as soon as I...
Swedish-Norwegian rap metal pioneers Clawfinger released Going Down Like Titanic as a new single from their upcoming album Before We All Die. The song continues the band's comeback after nearly 2 decades without full-length material and is taken from the album due out on February 20th via Perception, Raining Phoenix Music. Vocalist Zach Tell explains the track uses the Titanic metaphor to comment on arrogance and societal collapse, delivered through the group's signature fusion of rap metal grooves and satirical commentary. Atlanta heavyweights Sevendust unveiled Is This Really You, the lead single from their 15th studio album One. The song showcases the blend of aggression and melody and reflects their continued presence in the rock and metal scene nearly 3 decades in. The release also includes an animated video that visually complements the track's exploration of identity and self-reflection. One is scheduled for release on May 1st via Napalm Records.
If you say something that they get beneath my skin.
Welsh genre benders Skindred shared This Is the Sound, another single from their forthcoming album You Got This. The track combines the band's eclectic metal meets dancehall style, featuring roaring grooves and high-energy hooks. This song follows the previously released title track and continues to build anticipation for You Got This, due April 17th via Earache Records. Danish post-black alt-metal outfit Mole released their third full-length album Dream Crush. Issued via Nuclear Blast, the record was preceded by singles including Garland, Yawn and Crash, and blends crushing intensity with ethereal textures across its 11 tracks. Mole also celebrated this album's release with a new video for Hood, reflecting the album's atmospheric depth and emotional breadth. Megadeth vs. Metallica. Again! Here's just a reminder that some metal beefs are truly eternal. As this week, Dave Mustaine revealed that his last conversation with James Hetfield ended in a surprise, an argument. Wow! An argument over publishing rights tied to Metallica's legendary demo, No Life Till Leather. Now, just to be brief, according to Dave, the disagreement was about songwriting credit on early Metallica tracks like Phantom Lord, Metal Militia, Jump in the Fire, and The Mechanics, when Mustaine insisted he wrote the music and wasn't willing to accept anything less than a straight 50-50 split with Hetfield. Yet, when James pushed back and revealed his side of the story, also mentioning other band members' input, the conversation, according to Dave, simply ended. And apparently this was the last time Dave and James ever spoke. Which actually brings up two questions. Number one, No Life Till Leather was released back in 2015, so that means that despite everything the two camps said about each other in the last decade, those two haven't actually spoken to each other in over 10 years already. And number two, well, I actually was 100% sure that the whole point of releasing Right Line and Cover was to bury the hatchet. And I actually even said that in my previous video, that it was a way for Dave Mustaine to close the circle and put the whole Metallica beef behind him once and for all before he ends the chapter of the legendary Megadeth. But apparently I was wrong. And apparently even 40 years after the conflict, some of those beefs are actually truly eternal. And I kinda wonder whether we'll hear about yet another Megadeth versus Metallica conflict long after both of those bands actually cease to exist. Hey guys, a little Mark here. I just wanted to point out that all the websites are reposting this news now, and they're saying that Dave Mustaine actually said that in a recent interview to Classic Rock, meaning after the release of the band's final studio album. But the truth is that I was actually not able to get hold of Classic Rock myself. I haven't held the magazine in my hands yet to verify it or not. And truth be told, it sounds quite a lot like what Dave Mustaine actually said around 4 years ago. So just be aware of that. But still, come on guys. This band, meaning Megadeth, is worth so much more than just being constantly compared to Metallica, in my opinion. And I am so happy that we actually got both of them in the world of thrash metal. Lou Gramm returns.
I lock myself away.
Original frontman of the legendary melodic rockers Foreigner, Lou Gramm, has announced his 4th solo album. And this would be a pretty regular piece of news, but there is a but. This will actually be Lou's first solo album in 17 years.
Never ever wanna break it up. Oh no.
As Gramm said, this new album, titled Released, will be an anthology of the previously unreleased material that was recorded during the work on Lou's 3 previous solo albums. And that's exactly why it will have this very old school vintage sound derived straight from the old multi-track tapes. And although this album will only be released on March 27th, all the fans can already hear what Released will sound like, as the first single from it, titled Young Love, is already out. And yes, it does sound unbelievably old school.
Some way we're gonna be together. Keep love alive.
Ozzfest will be back. Sharon Osbourne has confirmed that she's in active talks with Live Nation about bringing the iconic Ozzfest back, potentially as early as next year. And according to Sharon, the idea is very much rooted in what Ozzfest originally stood for, giving new and emerging bands a real platform, not just recycling the same legacy names over and over again. Which, in my opinion, is simply incredible news because, yes, truth be told, back in the day, Ozzfest played an integral part in ensuring our favorite genre would survive the hardest decade in its existence, as it was there where such mastodons of the genre as, for example, Ozzy Osbourne, would perform on the same stage with the then newcomers like Korn and Slipknot, and all those fans of classic heavy metal would discover the new bands for themselves, and the newcomers into the genre would dive deeper into the wonderful world of heavy metal. And maybe that's why Sharon has even floated the idea of mixing genres while keeping the core spirit of discovery that made Ozzfest such a game changer in the first place. Which, once again, if metal stays in the core of it, well, I'm all for it. So yeah, it looks like Ozzy's spirit will live on, especially given the whole fact that this week we also found out that one of the major mainstream events will actually honor the legend as well, as the 2026 Grammy Awards will feature a special Ozzy tribute performance with Post Malone, Slash, Duff McKagan, Chad Smith, and producer Andrew Watt, in a now not so rare instance when a heavy metal legend is being honored by the mainstream audience. Which, in my opinion, just once again proves that Ozzy Osbourne's legacy will live on no matter what, and his influence on the world of music will continue to be strong for years to come. But anyways, what new music did you listen to this week? Please let us know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please don't forget to like it, comment under it, of course subscribe to this channel and spread the word about it, and join our communities on Instagram, X, Threads, Facebook, Discord, I mean, anywhere else you can post content these days. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will prevail. Slava Ukraini!